Hello there, welcome back to the Wi-Fi Shoot channel with me, Tom. Now in today's video we're revisiting a subject I talked about before, which is the NES Classic Edition. I know what you're thinking, well, old news, no one cares about these anymore, but I happened to be out and about the other day and I went into a pound store, which is like a Dollar Tree type thing. We have quite a few of them here in the UK now, and believe it or not, I found these on sale. Now they weren't £1, they were £5, which gives you a clue as to which store it was. I have absolutely no idea if these controllers, which it says are compatible with the Nintendo Classic Mini Turbo controller it's called. I have no idea if these are any good. I've not even opened the box, so I thought, what the hell, let's buy one and let's see what it's like. Okay then, before we go any further, let's put that one there. These were the extra controllers I bought originally. The problem with the Classic Edition itself is the controller, although it's alright, tiny lead and people didn't like it, I didn't like it. It meant unless you literally set up like this, you're going to sit at the table and play with a telly, you know, it doesn't work if you want to kind of set it up like a traditional console. So I bought these controllers originally and they're alright. You've got a black coloured one and grey coloured one. The only slight issue I found was the buttons were a little bit clunky and uncomfortable, and also the D-pad sometimes didn't reset. So for example, if I was to hit up key, it would sometimes, if you hit it too much on one side, it would treat it as a left or right, which was a problem with these. So I mean, yeah, not great, which was a shame. They're alright, and the leads on them, as you can see, were a decent size, about 3 metre leads on these. So I'll just pop those to a side and we'll have a look at the new one. This is from Geotech. Yeah, 3 metre cable, quite a nice package. I don't really buy all this sort of turbo button type stuff, but we'll see. So it's literally has not been opened, it's sealed at the top still, so we'll just get a knife into that. There we go. Okay, what's that in the sort of right, so that's empty. So you've got this sort of card. Is there anything at the bottom of that, or is that just used? No, I don't think there's anything in that. So it's a sort of strange inner tube, or what? Instruction manual, controller itself, which is very kind of white plastic. Let's have a look. Feels alright. Good, not a lead on that. Take that plastic tie off in a minute. Oops, don't knock the camera, keep doing that. Yeah, I mean, not sure about the colour, but that's just me being picky perhaps. But yeah, you can tell by the slightly lighter sound it feels a bit better. I think what we'll do is we need to plug this in and see A, if it works, and B, how good it is. Weirdly, I've just noticed this on the instructions. It says, do not return this product to store. Okay. It's pretty self-explanatory really. It's plug in, there you go, plug in like that. Bit odd, isn't it? Okay, well let's plug in and see what happens. Okay, so here's the official controller as supplied with the NES Classic Edition, which yeah, was alright, but as we talked about before, the problem is just the cord on it is just stupidly small, which is fine in this sort of desktop setup, but you know, that's not usable, which is a real shame because it's a nice controller. So let's see how that compares. Here's the Geotech. Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's just get this unravelled and plugged in. Okay then, let's power up, see what happens. That doesn't seem massively happy at the moment. Might swap my power supplies out, try again. Okay, I've just switched to one of the official Raspberry Pi power transformers, one of the newer ones, which is 5.1 volts, 3.5 amps. Let's just see if that's any better. Yeah. That's rather interesting. Let's just turn this down a bit. There we go. Okay. Moment of truth. Does this actually work? Oh, it does. I'm trying to think. What can I play that's not going to get me a copyright strike? Probably something about Mario in it or any other major IP. Balloon Fight will do. Well, I have to say that actually feels quite... That's alright, that is. Yeah, practice needed. Let's just reset. Yeah, I'll go with that. That actually seems alright. I don't know how this turbo feature works, but yeah, so get yourself down to a major pound retailer now. Got these in stock at some of their larger stores. Definitely recommend. Okay, so yeah, really pleased with how that worked, and generally, yeah, I was quite happy with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Classic Edition, if you could get hold of one. The only slight issue I had was, although the games in it were great, there were some others I wanted to play, and I was very interested when the system got hacked, allowing you to add all the additional ROMs you wanted. But I really didn't fancy doing that with my particular unit, hence I left it factory stock as is. But what I did go and do was build my own system. Those of you that follow the channel will know I've already talked briefly about the Ident CE or Compact Edition kit computer system for Raspberry Pi, and one of the variants was the CE dRIVE, which is basically a game console variant of the CE. It's 3D printed and it's a casing solution for Raspberry Pi, and in this particular kit it's the case, the fan and cooling system, and a bundled clone SNES USB controller. The reason for going for these type of controllers is that they're quite good for using with all sorts of different systems. The stock CE, you basically fit it with RetroPie, which is the gaming OS for Raspberry Pi, and basically means you can run all sorts of different systems, not just NES. You can actually go all the way up to N64, PlayStation, all the way down to the early Atari stuff. So basically this system means I can now play the games that interest me without having to alter the Classic Edition. So yeah, Classic Edition got me interested in retro gaming, but it is effectively a Linux emulator box. In fact, I actually found, I have here an Orange Pi, which is one of these Chinese clone boards. Just get that out. There we go. The chip on this board particularly, the all-winner H2 ARM processor, It's a quad-core chip. I think it's actually identical to the actual processor inside the Classic Edition. So when I did my original video, I think I showed a Raspberry Pi A+. Strictly speaking, the Orange Pi Zero here is actually technically nearer in standards and configuration to the original board inside the Classic Edition. The C drive here uses a Raspberry Pi 3. It's a stock Raspberry Pi 3. It just fits inside the case. The 5 volts to run the fan and the 3.3 to run the LED are ran off the GPIO pins from inside, and we can just plug the controller straight in to the USB in the side here. So I'll just power this one up and I'll give you a quick demo. Okay, there's no on-off power with C models, so it's basically power transformer straight in to the back here. Power up the system. And it uses, as I said, the stock RetroPie Linux image. So it's not supplied, it's just you link through, you download it from the official RetroPie source, and you have to source all your own game ROMs. There's no game ROMs supplied with the kit. Also, you obviously need to supply your own Pi board. Recommend Pi 3. There's actually a new Pi 3, it's just landed literally the other day. I don't think at the time of recording RetroPie actually works with that, so you actually need the original Pi 3 at the moment, but it's fast enough. Obviously got a cooling fan and there's a heatsink. That does come with the kit, and that allows the Pi to run pretty much flat out. So again, it's the stock RetroPie OS. I've got a few ROMs on here. We'll just flick through to RetroPie. Sorry, NES, there we go. Yeah, basically, so I could actually test a few games I wanted to play, for example. So I've actually got Elite. Again, harking back to sort of classic BBC Micro 8-bit era. This is the Nintendo build of Elite. This ROM you can actually legitimately download now from the author Ian Bell's website. Probably do turn the volume back up now, but just move the camera up a bit. There we are. And it runs alright. I mean, effectively, it's no different an emulator box to what the Classic Edition or the SNES Classic Edition is. So hence why I didn't bother with the SNES, because it didn't really have any kind of feelings towards it. No nostalgia for it, so built this instead, really. Probably should turn the volume up. The fan, when it gets up to speed, is a little bit noisy, but probably should have practiced these really before doing the videos, but never mind. Yeah, there we go. And then to reset, it's on the RetroPie, it's just select and start together. And you can do all your configuration. So we've got Super Nintendo on here as well, Game Boy Advance I've got set up, Game Boy Color as well, Sonic the Hedgehog from Master, Sonic the Hedgehog again from Mega Drive or Genesis in the US, Nintendo 64, let's go back to Nintendo 64, let's try F1 World, should be alright to oops, F1 World should be alright to show. I must point out I do actually legitimately own the proper version of this game. I do own the cartridge, so technically do have a license to own the software. So interesting how the emulator for this is actually louder than the NES. I've not adjusted any volumes. A little bit of a frame slowdown, but it's generally alright. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just go back. So I'm just going to time trial. Forget who we're set up with, but we'll just start with that. Which is usually David Coulthard in Australia, I think, from memory. Oh, Italy. That'll do. Oh, it's Damon Hill, there we go. Well, it runs alright. The emulator takes the sort of the sheen or the blurry sort of filter off the original N64, so you do get, well, it's very pixely, you do get a sort of a sharper image, and of course we're going through HDMI rather. The memory can actually change the, there we go. The SNES controller does do quite a good job of mapping to an N64 controller, so I can use the D-pad directionally instead of the analog stick. So admittedly, it's not perfect emulation on everything. Some games like Pilot Wings, Star Wars Pod Racer on the N64 just do not run at all at the moment. Perhaps it's a configuration issue, I'm not sure, so it's not 100% emulation on everything, but other stuff like this and a lot of the first party Nintendo products, like your Marios, do run really well. I'm not going to show Super Mario 64 because of copyright issues have been taken down, etc. So but it does actually do quite a good job. As you can see, I just can't drive properly. We can exit out of that. Yeah, so there we go. So information about the Ident CE kit system is available on my website, www.ident-online.co.uk/computer. Okay, thanks so much for watching. As ever, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you real soon right here on the Wi-Fi Shoot channel. Bye for now.